you could do that is like the day of the new patch that changes everything, that then you can come back and kind of be like, this is a new game now. So every once in a while Blizzard will do that, like they'll change something that just changes everything. So yeah.
All right, and how about you, Bobby? What do you think about the ladder system and casual players?
I mean, if you're a casual player, what are you playing the game for? You're playing the game to have fun. And so obviously if a place where you can have fun is by playing players that are of equal skill level to you, whether you're in the bottom of bronze or the top of diamond, you're looking to have fun by playing players close to your skill level. So the ladder is where you do it. And I think, so long as, even if you aren't a great player, so long as you're focused on having fun and realize that, if you are placed correctly in your ladder, you'll win 50% of your games. And some people have a problem winning 50% of their games because that could just feel terrible. To some people, they'll be like, feel like a failure because they're only winning 50%. But that's totally normal. You just should have fun. So yeah, there's definitely a place for casual players on the ladder.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to say that that's probably the biggest issue and the biggest problem that a lot of casual players have. Coming from my viewpoint, I'm a pretty competitive gamer. I did a lot of WoW Arena. Before that, I played a lot of first-person shooter games pretty competitively. That's just in my nature. So I'm used to trying to play against people of a higher skill level than myself, and I'm used to winning about 50%, no more nor less. I mean, that's kind of typically where you're used to. But coming from a straight casual player perspective, someone who's not used to a really competitive environment, that's kind of a little shell shock. That seems to be where the biggest complaints are coming from. They're like, I'm losing like half my games, and I think a lot of people just don't realize that, well, that's what it is intended to do. It intends to drive you to that 0.5 win-loss, ratio. That's what it's shooting for. And I think, again, that's what they have the hardest time dealing with, and that's the reason there's so much griping from casual players about the competitive aspect of it, for sure.
Yeah, just have fun. Yeah. It's a game. You play for fun. Just have fun.
It's a game. What's wrong with you guys? All right, so last question here for today. Let's see what we have. All right, last question is going to be, how do you handle a losing streak of 3+ games? Do you do anything specific to break a losing mindset? Let's start with you, David. I know you've never been on a losing streak, but if you have been on a losing streak, how would you take a break from something like that?
Oh, you don't take a break. You just six pool.
So you fall back to the cheese and you cross your fingers and you hope that you get at least 50%, right?
I mean, it's just I'm cracking up over that. Sorry.
Do you think in failing,
it's so Zerg humor? It's like when all else fails, just six pool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it used to be too for Terran. It used to be when all else fails, Bunker Reaper Rush, but they threw that out the crapshoot, so it's not that's not an option anymore, unfortunately, for those Terran players. But no, seriously, is that? I mean, you literally just six pool after a 3-game losing streak? Is that?
I tend to do a little bit more all-ins because a 10 pool, not a 6 pool, maybe a 10 pool, because sometimes you just need to win in order to get your mentality back to where it is. If you lose and lose and lose, it can really make you feel like, wow, I really suck at this game or something like that, and that's
just start Baneling busting Terrans and toss, basically.
Yeah, some of the, like when I'm watching the GSL, like some players, like they lose 2 games in a row, and you can see they're like visibly shaken about it, stuff like that. Like a best of 5 series type thing, and they lose the first 2 games, pretty one-sided games. You can't let that affect your mentality. So, sometimes maybe just rushing, getting an easy win isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially when I should post up that game against a 2,000 point diamond player, 6 pool, and then I'll get chewed out, and
Oh, yeah, you could always just go on your Smurf account after that too. That's another option. So.
Yeah.
And for those in the audience who don't know, a Smurf account is an account that a fairly high-level player creates just to fight bronze people all day, basically. I'm just kidding. That never happens. So how about you, Bobby? After losing streaks, what do you typically do? Do you take a break, or do you kind of try to grind your teeth, pull through?
I'm a break taker. I feel the same temptation to do some cheesy build just to try to get a win, but then if you lose that game, oh my god, the rage comes out. I start throwing headphones across the room, mice. it can get ugly.
Snap
So-
the disc in half.
Yeah. Wait, disc? What is a disc?
Oh, you digital download? I guess you're right. Yeah.
Who uses a disc for games? I don't even know what that is. No,
People
but
that go to midnight releases like me.
Nice. That was a midnight downloader. But yeah, I always just take a break. I mean, it's really whatever works for you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Whatever you need to do to kind of get your head back in the game. If you want to keep playing, you could always go read a book or something. Who am I kidding? No one reads, but no. I mean, I guess I would say that I'm.
What century are you in, man?
The good thing to do, though, in all seriousness, is to watch your replays. Why did you lose those games? And let's say you played 3 Terrans in a row and you lost, and then the 4th game was a Terran. Well, then you'd have a better idea of what went wrong in those games, and you can immediately, like, all the good players watch their losses and they know exact what. Well, sheesh, it was that 6-minute. Whatever. It was at the 10-minute mark. This timing push I'm weak against. So look at your replays, analyze what happened, where you're weak, and try to improve in your next game. And of course, take a break. Like I always say, like play like 4 or 5 games and then take a break, because when you get to like the sixth game or something, for some of these guys they can just keep on going. But when you get to a certain point, you're not playing your best anymore, and that's when it's time to stop playing, because the guy that's fresher than you will beat you, even if you guys are equal.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess I would say from my perspective that I definitely fall along the break lines. I definitely feel like after I've lost one game, I take a break. No, after a game or two of losses that I wasn't happy with, aside from watching the replays, I'll take a break. I'll do something else. I'll maybe like make a video or do whatever just to get my mind off of things, and then really focus on what caused those losses, so future games I can carry things over. All right, well, I think that pretty much about wraps it up for us here today. So once again, this has been
Voices of Starcraft.
Jesus Christ. All right, so thank you guys for watching, and for Vitensby and for Trebis, I have been Force. This was our very first podcast. Please do stay tuned in the future for more. Stay tuned, guys, and take it easy.
Later, guys.
See ya.